The Needle Tree, an inspiring story about kindness, forgiveness, and the magical rewards of doing good. In a quiet village surrounded by lush green forests, two brothers lived together in a small wooden house. The older brother, Marco, was strong but harsh and often treated his younger brother, Leo, unfairly. While Leo was kind, cheerful, and full of hope, Marco was gruff and always focused on getting what he wanted. Every day, Marco would venture into the forest to chop wood, carrying his heavy axe and returning with a large bundle to sell in the market. Leo, on the other hand, would stay back to tend to the house and keep the garden blooming. Even though Leo was smaller and often wished to accompany his brother, Marco would scoff, saying, "You're too slow and weak to be of any help, Leo. Just stay out of my way." A magical encounter one sunny morning, Marco grabbed his axe and stormed into the forest, eager to find the biggest tree he could chop. He stomped through the woods, muttering to himself, "Why do I always have to work so hard? I wish I could find something valuable instead of plain old wood." After searching for a while, he came across a beautiful, tall tree with shimmering golden leaves that seemed to sparkle in the sunlight. To Marco's surprise, the tree spoke. "Please, kind sir," the magical tree said in a soft, pleading voice, "do not cut me down. If you spare my life, I will reward you with golden apples." Marco's eyes widened with greed. "Golden apples, you say? All right, but there had better be enough." The tree trembled slightly, and golden apples began to fall gently onto the ground, their glow lighting up the forest floor. Marco scooped them up with greedy hands, his face full of disappointment. "What? Only a handful? This isn't enough. I deserve more," he barked angrily. The tree's branches rustled with unease. "This is all I can give you right now," the tree said. "But with patience and kindness, there will always be more." Marco wasn't listening. His frustration boiled over, and he swung his axe high above his head. "Patience? Kindness? I don't have time for that. You're coming down, you silly tree." Before his axe could strike, the magical tree shimmered fiercely. Suddenly, hundreds of sharp, prickly needles rained down on Marco, covering him from head to toe.
Ouch. Ah.
"Stop," Marco cried, falling to the ground. The needles pricked painfully at his skin, and he couldn't move without hurting more. He lay there helplessly, his anger replaced by regret. The kind brother back at home, Leo noticed that his brother had been gone for far too long. Worry filled his heart. "Marco never takes this long," he thought. Picking up a small basket of snacks and water, Leo ventured into the forest, calling out his brother's name. "Marco? Marco, where are you?" After some time, Leo heard faint groans coming from a patch of trees. He rushed toward the sound and found Marco lying in pain on the forest floor, needles stuck all over his arms, legs, and face. "Oh, Marco," Leo cried. "What happened to you?" Marco looked away, ashamed. I made a mistake, Leo. The tree warned me, but I didn't listen. Now look at me." Without a second thought, Leo knelt beside Marco and gently began removing the needles one by one. It was slow, careful work, but Leo didn't complain. With every needle he pulled, his hands grew sore, but he kept going. "Why are you helping me?" Marco asked, his voice soft with surprise. "I've never been kind to you." "Because you're my brother," Leo replied with a smile. "And family always helps, no matter what." Marco watched his younger brother's patient kindness, and for the first time, he felt a deep sense of shame for how he had treated Leo. The magical reward once the last needle was removed, Marco sat up slowly, feeling lighter than he had in years. He looked at Leo with tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry, Leo. I've been so mean to you, but you've always been kind to me. I promise to change." Just then, the magical tree began to glow once more. Its golden leaves sparkled brighter than before, and the soft voice of the tree echoed through the forest. "You have shown true kindness, Leo, and forgiveness, Marco. For this, you both shall be rewarded." The branches shook gently, and golden apples rained down around them, far more than before. The ground glittered as the apples piled high, a treasure more valuable than either brother had ever seen. Marco looked at Leo with a grateful smile. These apples belong to both of us, Leo. I wouldn't have them without you. Leo beamed. Thank you, Marco. And remember, kindness will always be rewarded. A lesson learned. The brothers returned home with their treasure, not just of golden apples, but of a new bond forged through kindness and forgiveness. Marco worked alongside Leo from that day on, treating him with respect and love. Together, they shared their golden apples with their neighbors, spreading kindness and happiness throughout the village. And deep in the forest, the magical tree stood tall and proud, its leaves forever golden, a symbol of the lesson learned: kindness will always be rewarded. Moral of the story: kindness and forgiveness are the greatest treasures of all.